Nobody tells you that optimizing deep sleep while your life is garbage is just wasting time. But you need to hear this. Look, deep sleep matters. Delta waves, growth hormone, memory consolidation, toxin removal, all real. The science they shared? Completely accurate. Light timing, body temperature, caffeine blocking adenosine receptors. I'm not arguing with any of that. But here's what I need you to understand. I did everything right, every single protocol, for 6 months straight. 10 minutes of natural light every morning at 7 a.m. Room temperature exactly 18 degrees Celsius. No caffeine after 2 p.m. 90-minute wind-down routine starting at 9 p.m. Warm shower 60 minutes before bed. Grayscale mode on my phone. White noise machine. Blackout curtains. Magnesium-rich dinner. The whole damn checklist. I was a deep sleep optimization machine. And I still slept like crap. Not every night, but most nights. 3-4 times a week, I'd wake up at 3 a.m. with my brain running 73 browser tabs about tomorrow's problems. So I'd add another protocol. Maybe I need better breath work. Maybe the 4-7-8 technique. Maybe I should try side sleeping for that glymphatic drainage boost. More optimization, more tracking, more protocols. And the sleep still garbage. Here's what nobody told me. Here's what those 12 advanced strategies don't mention. If your life is fundamentally misaligned with what you actually value, no amount of bedroom optimization will fix your sleep. You can dial in your circadian rhythm perfectly. But if you're spending 40 hours a week doing work that makes you want to throw your laptop out a window, your nervous system knows. It doesn't care that your room is 18 degrees. It cares that you're living a life that requires constant stress management just to function. I realized this on a Tuesday night, 2:47 a.m. Couldn't sleep despite doing everything right. I was lying there thinking about a presentation I had to give for a project I didn't believe in, to people whose approval I didn't actually need, for a job that was slowly killing me. And I thought, why am I trying to optimize my way out of this? The problem wasn't my sleep architecture. The problem was that my life architecture was broken. Now, before you think I'm saying just quit your job and follow your dreams, hold on, that's not what this is about. Let me break down what actually works, because those 12 protocols, they do work, just not the way you think. Here's the real framework. First, the 3 protocols that actually matter. Just 3, not 12. Protocol 1, consistent wake time, same time, every single day, even weekends. Why this works? Your suprachiasmatic nucleus, your brain's master clock, loves predictability like a clingy friend. When you wake at 7 a.m. on Monday and 10 a.m. on Saturday, your circadian rhythm panics. It doesn't know when to release cortisol, when to release melatonin, when to prep your body for sleep. I started waking at 6:30 a.m. every day, no exceptions. Even if I slept late, even if I felt like garbage, 6:30 a.m. Within 2 weeks, my body started waking me up naturally at 6:25 a.m. No alarm. That's biology working correctly. But here's what they don't tell you about consistent wake times. This only works if you're not fighting something bigger. If you're waking up to a life that drains you from the moment you open your eyes, your body will resist. I couldn't maintain 6:30 a.m. consistently until I fixed what I was waking up for. Protocol 2. No caffeine after 2 p.m. This one's non-negotiable. Caffeine blocks adenosine receptors for 6 to 10 hours. Adenosine is the molecule that builds sleep pressure throughout your day. You might not feel wired at 10 p.m. after that 4 p.m. coffee, but your brain architecture is still damaged. Deep sleep gets destroyed, even if you don't feel it. I cut my caffeine deadline to 1 p.m. Sensitive people should cut it to noon or even 11 a.m. Here's the test. If you need coffee after 2 p.m., you're not managing your energy correctly. You're using caffeine as a band-aid for poor life design. I used to need 3 coffees a day, morning, lunch, and 3 p.m. That 3 p.m. coffee, that was me trying to power through work I hated. When I fixed the work situation, I didn't need that 3rd coffee anymore. Not because I had more discipline, because I wasn't fighting my own life anymore. Protocol 3, screens off 1 hour before bed. Not on grayscale, not with blue light filters. Off. Blue light suppresses melatonin. But that's only half the problem. The real issue is dopamine. Every scroll, every notification, every interesting thing you see, dopamine spike. Your brain gets activated when it should be winding down. I put my phone in another room at 9 p.m. Not on silent, not face down, in another room, because I know myself. If it's within reach, I'll check it. Just one quick look. Then 15 minutes disappear. But here's what nobody admits. The reason you're scrolling at 10 p.m. isn't lack of discipline. It's because you're avoiding something. Maybe tomorrow's stress. Maybe today's disappointments. Maybe the realization that you spent another day on things that don't matter. The screen is the symptom. The avoidance is the disease. When I started working on projects I actually cared about, I stopped needing to scroll at night. Not because I became more disciplined, because I had nothing to escape from. Now here's where we get to the real conversation. The one those 12 protocols skip entirely. All those protocols, the temperature optimization, the light timing, the 90-minute wind down, the magnesium-rich foods, they're all valid, but they're treating the symptoms while ignoring the disease. Your deep sleep is shit because your life is structured in a way that keeps your nervous system in constant low-grade threat mode. You wake up to work you don't care about. You spend 8 hours doing things that don't align with what you value. You come home exhausted from managing stress all day. Then you try to optimize your bedroom temperature by 1 degree and wonder why it doesn't help. That's like buying an air purifier for a room that's on fire. Technically it works, but you're solving the wrong problem. Here's what actually happened when my sleep fixed itself. I stopped trying to optimize sleep and started examining my days. I looked at what was actually causing the stress that was killing my sleep. 3 things. 1. A project at work I've been avoiding for months because it felt meaningless. I either needed to find meaning in it or get it off my plate. 2. A relationship that had become transactional. Every conversation was about logistics, never about connection. That was eating at me every night. 3. I'd committed to things I didn't actually want to do. Every week had obligations that drained energy without giving anything back. So I made changes. Not dramatic, quit everything and move to Bali changes. Practical changes. I had an honest conversation about the project at work. Either make it meaningful or kill it. We killed it. Freed up 15 hours a week. I scheduled actual quality time with that person. No logistics talk, just connection. Relationship shifted immediately. I started saying no to obligations that didn't align with what I value. Canceled 3 recurring commitments that felt like shoulds instead of wants. Within 3 weeks, my sleep improved more than 6 months of perfect protocol execution ever did. Not because I stopped caring about sleep hygiene. I still kept the 3 core protocols. Consistent wake time, no caffeine after 2 p.m., screens off at night. But now they actually worked because I wasn't fighting myself anymore. Here's the framework you actually need. Before you implement any sleep protocol, ask yourself this question. Write it down. If I could only change one thing about my life to improve my sleep, what would it be? Not one sleep hack, one life thing. Be honest, maybe it's the job. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's how you're spending your evenings. Maybe it's obligations you've taken on that you need to release. That answer? That's your starting point. Not bedroom temperature, not light timing, that thing you just thought of. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can't just quit my job. I can't just end that relationship. I can't just say no to all my commitments. Fair. You might be right. But here's what you can do. Start moving toward alignment. Even if it's slow, even if it's small steps. Maybe you can't quit your job today, but can you have one honest conversation about what's not working? Can you delegate one thing that's draining you? Can you set one boundary? Maybe you can't fix the relationship overnight, but can you create 1 hour of actual quality time this week? Can you have one vulnerable conversation? Maybe you can't cancel everything, but can you say no to one thing this week that doesn't serve you? Small moves toward alignment compound. Your nervous system notices. And when your nervous system feels safe, sleep becomes automatic. Now, let's talk about those 12 protocols from the original content. They're not wrong. They're just incomplete. If you've already fixed your life foundation and still have sleep issues, then yes, dial in the details. Morning light exposure helps set your circadian rhythm. 10 minutes of natural light within an hour of waking. This works, but if you're waking up dreading your day, morning light won't save you. Temperature optimization. Cool room, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Warm shower 90 minutes before bed to trigger core temperature drop. Science is solid, but if you're lying awake at night stressed about tomorrow, temperature doesn't matter. The 90-minute wind down protocol they mentioned. Sensory dimming. Cognitive offloading, physiological downgrade, excellent structure. But if you're using that 90 minutes to worry about all the things you avoided during the day, the protocol becomes another source of stress. Here's what I do now, my actual routine. I keep the 3 core protocols. Wake at 6:30 a.m. every day. No caffeine after 1 p.m. Phone in another room at 9 p.m. That's it. 3 things, not 12. But I also do something else, something none of those protocols mention. Every evening at 8 p.m., I spend 10 minutes on one question, just 10 minutes. Did today align with what I value? Not perfectly, not completely, but directionally. If yes, I can usually sleep. If no, I write down one small adjustment for tomorrow. This 10-minute reflection has done more for my sleep than 6 months of protocol optimization because it keeps me honest about whether I'm living a life that supports sleep or fighting a life that destroys it. Here's the hard truth. If you need 12 advanced protocols just to do something as natural as sleeping, the problem isn't that you lack optimization skills. The problem is that your life has become so misaligned that your body can't relax, even when you give it perfect conditions. Your nervous system is smarter than your protocols. It knows when you're living wrong, and it won't let you rest until you address it. So yes, do the basics. Consistent wake time, no late caffeine, screens off at night. But before you buy the white noise machine, the blackout curtains, the temperature-regulating mattress pad, ask yourself this: what am I trying to optimize my way out of? What in my life is fundamentally broken that no amount of bedroom tweaking will fix? That's your real work. Not the protocols, the life underneath them. Because here's what I learned after 6 months of perfect execution and continued failure. You can't optimize your way out of a life that's killing you. You can only design your way out. Start with the 3 core protocols. Add them to your life this week. Wake at the same time every day. Cut caffeine by 2 p.m. Screens off 1 hour before bed. Do those 3 things consistently for 7 days. Then see if you even need the other 9 protocols. My guess? You won't. Because once your foundation is right, sleep becomes what it's supposed to be, natural. And if those 3 things don't work after 7 days of honest execution, don't add more protocols. Ask the harder question. What in my life needs to change? That's where your real sleep solution lives. Not in your bedroom, in your days. Deep sleep isn't an optimization problem. It's a life design problem.